Well, hello again, and this is a little Brighton Post match thoughts. After the game against them, they played very, very well. Or did they play very, very well? One individual, I don't know if he, she, or it, or whatever they want to call themselves, proclaiming to be a Brighton fan, writes, worst performance from Brighton all season. It's away at Leeds, who actually try for a change, get gifted a goal, and then they still can't win. If Leeds play really well next season, they could get to 11th in the Championship. Well, being a small channel, I'm always going to attract trolls more than the larger channels. You might also want to go to the video that was in, which was the Leeds versus Brighton preview. Go ahead and read the comments, especially if you live in Leeds. You might be very interested in what this individual has to say about the city of Leeds, the great city of Leeds. Get yourselves over there, check the comments, and obviously respond however you see fit. As far as my opinion goes, I don't think that we were gifted any goals. I thought the team worked very hard for the point. In all honesty, I thought that we were well worth the 3 points. Okay, in some guises, in other situations, we could also have been worth 0 points as well, because Brighton, towards the end of that game, came into it. They had Welbeck on, and he caused all sorts of trouble when he came on for our back four. In other parts of the game, I thought Ayling struggled against Matimo down their left-hand side, our right-hand side obviously, and I thought that his skill, his speed and his stamina and his positioning, catching Luke Ayling out a few times. Brighton definitely took the decision to go at Leeds down that left-hand flank for them, seeing and identifying Luke Ayling as a weak link in our defence. However, we had some good cover. I think they came expecting to see a Leeds United side that was going to press them, and it was quite evident during that game that that was the case. And it was also very evident that Gracia has given different instructions to the players. Obviously, these are things that have been worked on during the week through training, and the players were a little bit standoffish, almost like a zonal marking situation where they were passing the ball around until they found a runner, until they could get that midfield to find the spaces to make the runs. And I think they found it quite difficult, a much tougher test than they anticipated coming to Leeds and coming to Elland Road. And I also thought that when I looked at the game, that we played tactically a very good game. However, again, individual errors just let us down a little bit. If we look at the replay of that first goal, yes, okay, Firpo can't stop the cross from going in. But Koch and Adams, they're kind of ball watching when that ball is headed back across the goal, and we see that the goal goes in, and they kind of look at each other just as it's coming across, and they think, oh no, we've left somebody unmarked in the middle of the 6-yard box. Simple header, wasn't it, for Callister? A very straightforward header for him. As for the Harrison own goal, well, again, Ayling's been done again on his side of the field. He's come across the 6-yard box, but just before the ball reaches Jack Harrison's foot, there might be a little question over Ilya Meslier. Could he have got down to stop that ball a little bit quicker? It's a little bit unfortunate. Perhaps it was moving a little bit too quickly for him. Harrison appears to have been kicked in the back of the foot or down the back of his calf as he's tried to swing through for that ball, trying to make his clearance. And a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't he just do it with his right foot instead of his left? Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's timing. Conceded the second goal against Brighton. So I want to say also, well done to Jack Harrison, because his chasing down of the ball between, I think it's Veltman and Gross, during that build-up play was absolutely terrific, and that's how Patrick Bamford ended up thumping that ball with his right foot, his secret weapon. That also brings to the question, are the training staff trying to work on Patrick Bamford's right foot, trying to give him the ability to be a little bit more two-footed and giving him thus more control over the football in certain match situations? So well done, Jack. It was absolutely fantastic, that chasing down, and I think most Leeds fans will agree with me. Let's try and get yourself and everybody else into that routine that, yes, when the ball is a little bit loose, it's in the middle of the park and it's in the opponent's midfield. Can we try chasing it down a little bit? And I know Grathia has tried to stop us from running around like a bunch of headless chickens, trying to play this fast-paced, high-press, high-tempo type football. And remember that, the game lasts 90 minutes. You can't play like that for 90 minutes. It's just too much on the body, I think. So, well done, Jack. And Patrick Bamford. All hail Patrick Bamford for his wonder right foot effort against Steele. Although there was a little nick off the sliding defender's shin, it was a tremendous goal. And I think it would have been well on target anyway. And certainly testing Steele's diving skills. It was a tremendous bit of power behind that effort from Patrick Bamford with his right boot. Usually he's much more left-footed, is Patrick Bamford. So a good job there. And then again, Jack Harrison coming in and cutting in from that left-hand side with an absolutely glorious goal for the second goal, which pulled Leeds level. 2 earners, a draw. Alright, it is 2 points dropped. I would have hoped we'd have got all 3 points, but I don't think a point against a very good Brighton team is to be sniffed at. Remember, they are looking and competing for European spots, and they have got a very good record this year so far in the Premier League. So, is a point a fair result? Yeah, I think I'd take a point on that one. I thought we'd match them in most areas of the park. I thought the tactical play from Grathia was very, very good. We changed a lot during the game, from allowing Brighton to have a lot of possession and just holding them at bay, letting them do a lot of the hard work, the hard graft. And, we scored when we needed to score. We got 2 very, very important, absolutely fantastic goals. And I just hope that, the long-range shooting is something that all the players are working on this week in training, because we're definitely going to need it against Wolverhampton Wanderers, another side in a bit of distress, and they will be doing whatever it takes to stop Leeds from earning 3 points when we go and visit them at Molineux. Going back a little bit and touching on Grathia's tactics, I think I'd rather see Leeds picking up 3 points rather than being too worried about the performance and the entertainment value at this stage of the season, and given the precarious position that we are in the Premier League. Did he start with the right lineup? Well, I thought so. We've got a couple of players there returning from injury, Rodrigo, Sinisterra. Although we saw Sinisterra for about a minute, he was trying to get on for about the last 5 or 6. As for Nonto, why isn't he started Nonto? Well, I think that, yes, it's having Nonto coming off the bench as an impact player is probably a good thing. If he's playing for the 90 minutes, he's going to get double marked. He's going to struggle to find room. And, we have to nurture these young talents. 90 minutes every game week is going to be quite a lot for him, especially as he's growing into the side and the setup and into the Premier League, especially, and the same applies for the other players as well. The youngsters who are coming into the side, they're not going to get 90 minutes all the time. So a little bit of rotation from Grathia is probably a good thing. And when you wind back to the days of Jesse Marsh, it was literally the same starting 11 every week. He'd get to the 60th minute, and what would he do? He'd put Click on. It was just so predictable. So Grathia is a refreshing change. He's a breath of fresh air over what we had. And he's much more likely to get the required points than Jesse Marsh was ever likely to have gotten, I thought. And I'm pretty happy with what he's doing with the squad, what he's doing with the team. And I think it's only a matter of time before we start picking up a few wins. And these wins are going to be valuable wins heading into the end of the season. Right, that's all for this video. You know what to do. If you enjoyed it, press the thumb up button. You might also want to hit the old, it's no longer red anymore, I don't think, but you can press that sub button as well. And let's try and get over 20 subs this week. In fact, I'm getting some new subs, and I've got one sub from the United States this week, so a poet, and I'll give him a mention. Remind me on the live stream on Saturday against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Have a great week ahead, and don't be all doomy and gloomy. We're turning a corner. It's a long process. Remember, it's not the journey that counts, it's the destination, and the destination is Premier League football next year. Have a great week ahead.